You ever think you should have won that exchange, but you still lost it anyway? Especially when you witness the first 10 rounds of your magazine all connect with the opponent? You shoot first, you land the burst, hit markers pop. Everything is going your way. You're ahead in the exchange, and somehow you're staring at a respawn screen. And I'm sure some of you out there may immediately think, cheater. And I feel that's a normal, immediate reaction. On the surface, the evidence suggests as such. But I've been around long enough, I've had some gaming industry experience, and I've researched more hours than I care to talk about to know with 95% confidence when a player is cheating. What's most likely happening here is, in this situation, is Battlefield 6's hit-reg and Desync showing up at the worst possible moment, right when you're doing everything right. And I have some solutions for those who are interested in working around this issue. Now, before we go any deeper, let me set some guardrails for this conversation. Allow me to make sure we're all on the same page here. There's always somebody who hears hit registration and immediately jumps to skill issue, man, just aim better. That's not what this video is about. And quite frankly, if that's your go-to response as a drive-by, well, I'll say it here instead of repeating it in the comments. Cool story, bro. Thanks for adding growth numbers to my video and channel. Thanks for joining my TED Talk. Anyway.
Oh, snipe.
Skill and hit registration, and by extension the netcode, are two completely different topics people love to mash together. Your aim, which is mechanical skill, and the game's ability to recognize your shots, which is a technical system. One belongs to the player, you. One belongs to the engine, the devs. Today, I'm talking about the second one. There are a dozen reasons hit-reg can fail. Ping, netcode, obviously, region routing, server load, desync, and our favorite, packet loss. And you've probably felt all of them at least once. Sometimes you might have experienced all of them at once. So this isn't a witch hunt, and it's not a skill lecture. This is a part and parcel of live service games, and most of you know this. What I'm trying to do here is have an honest look at why a good shot doesn't always count, even when you did your part right. Here's the part nobody really breaks down clearly. Battlefield 6 isn't a broken shooter. It's a fast shooter, running on a server system that wasn't designed for this much speed, animation canceling, and burst damage in every lane. I'm not sure why, but this is what we're working with. Look, as a side note, I'm an economist. I work with what I have, what's in front of me. This is why I can still play the game and still have fun. I'm very aware of the game's issues from a technical and mechanical side. Doesn't mean I'm happy with it. I'm just realistic in my expectations. Now, regarding the mismatch of the exchange, you know you should have won? That's where the hit-reg lies to you. Now remember, this isn't a hit-reg rant. I'm not here to scream at servers or accuse the devs of sabotage. I want to show you why this happens, why it's worse in Battlefield 6, and how older players like me, can adjust today, tonight, and tomorrow and neutralize most of it. Battlefield 6 player speed rose, but the server tick rate did not. Faster animation results often with higher desync risks. This is simply a server versus the speed. What you actually see is 50 to 100 milliseconds of latency, lag. This often shows on your screen while it feels like the enemies shoot before they appear.
Oh my gosh.
And this is the peak advantage that really is actually not an advantage. slides, quick peeks, and in some cases the sudden change in a POV not done through gaming systems and settings. These are just clients showing one thing and the server sees another. And your shots hit the client pose, not the real one. This is the animation desync problem.
Yeah, he's tagging me, but
Burst damage and netcode delay is the big reasons your exchange arrives late. Basically, the server overwrites your win. And this is the big reason why you lose fights you should have won. And these are just a few of the technical issues we players face with this one problem. So, what do I do to compensate for this technical wizardry? Well, I have a few tips. And just the tips. Remember, this isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. These compensations are best fitted to how I play. So please, keep that in mind. I primarily play support and I'm slower in my pacing. I have accidentally found that support and slower pacing tends to minimize the bullet trade war regarding the technical issues. It tends to reduce the speed mismatch. It gives the server fewer states to reconcile, creates predictable lanes. The older school of thought pacing actually helps hit-reg. If not for support, it's even better with snipers. There's also a situational awareness compensation. Hit-reg issues usually amplify when two players pop at the same time. You exchange with someone with better ping. You push into server load choke points. Your workaround could be, if the gunfight feels slippery, start forcing the enemy into your timing instead of matching theirs. Make them walk into your barrel. The desync varies from time to time for me. Sometimes I see hit markers with no kill. I've died behind cover as the hit-reg caught up. I've shot first and landed 6 or 7 rounds from go and still lost. And I've seen opponents appear mid-animation. Poof, they came out of nowhere. Weapon choice compensation. There are certain weapons that seem to hide hit-reg failures a little bit better than others. I've noticed this with LMGs with sustained fire forgive dropped packets. SMGs with a tight hip fire forgive desync at close range. If you feel the game dropping shots, swap to weapons that punish less for lost frames. High stability, sustained fire guns seem to behave more consistently under server strain. But when I slow down a little, it's not as bad. You can see it in a lot of my footage. One guy commented that I spent like 3 minutes in the prone position shooting. Well, yeah, my dude. I minimized the information exchange back and forth between me and the server, and look, I got hits and kills. When I run around like a spider monkey you want me to be, there's a ton of info trading back and forth with the server, and the hit-reg issue multiplies. Remember, I'm working the problem one step at a time. First, I establish the technical issue, then I work on the skill base on new sets of information. Then there's the engagement distance adjustments. Man, hit-reg shows its worst symptoms at 20 to 40 meters, peak-to-peak gunfights, jittering targets. Close-range fights seem to tolerate more chaos. So if mid-range fights feel a little bit off, close that distance. Don't fight the system when it's weakest. So some overall suggestions is basically just shorter peaks. Oh my god, take advantage of cover to cover, not wide strafes. Don't stutter step corners. Commit early or don't commit at all. Force smaller exposure windows. Fight in predictable lanes. Avoid trading into burst weapons at mid-range. And use movement that reduces server guesswork. Some expectations for DICE to fix eventually. Maybe some interpolation windows. Maybe improve the dead zone animation states. Just the burst damage desync sensitivity. Improve the server side hit confirmation smoothing. These are all big technical things, and based on player feedback and dev responses, they are indeed working on these things, so hopefully very soon this will be one less thing to talk about. Until then, older Battlefield 6 players can still win the exchanges, we just have to play like the server sees us, not like the client pretends we look. Look guys, as the kids like to constantly remind us, Battlefield 6 is fast. Faster than most of us grew up playing. But fast games shouldn't deter older players. They should, however, make us break old or bad habits. Slow your peak back a second. Tighten your lane. Control the angle instead of the animation. Let the server catch up to you. And when the desync hits, don't blame your skill. Blame the mismatch between a fast game and a slow server. Then adjust and win the next one. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you all sticking around. The channel is growing super fast, all because of you, so thank you for that. And before you go, do me a huge favor, would you? Go to the channel's description and scroll to the bottom. You'll find this month's Veteran Spotlight, DAV, Disabled American Veterans. I do this shit once a month, spotlighting groups that support our military vets. Please check them out to see if this is something you'd like to support, even if it's a simple link share on your socials. Thanks, everybody. Till the next one. Out.